Now, many people make fun of Cool Cat Saves the Kids and its creator, Derek Savage. But what many people don't understand is that these opinions come out of the mouths of very unintelligent sheep. People are jumping on the bandwagon just to hate this movie, but I believe Derek Savage knew that people would just hate on this movie for no reason, and that's why he made Cool Cat a cat. Cats are part of the lion family. And what does the great Tywin Lannister say?
A lion doesn't concern himself with the opinions of the sheep.
Cool Cat is a representation of those who are beyond the modern man. He knows people snicker and say things behind his back, but he ignores it because he knows he's above them and better than them. Now, if you believe you are not intelligent enough to comprehend this movie, that is okay. It just means you're fucking stupid and dumber than me and Derek Savage. Let us begin. So the greatest piece of cinema opens with Cool Cat dancing and showing off the credits. All of this being in one take, mind you. His dedication knows no bounds. You thought Stanley Kubrick pushed Shelley Duvall too far on The Shining? Huh. Try dancing for a minute straight with perfect choreography. So after we're shown the very complex and brilliant origin story of our main protagonist, we then get the introduction of one of today's greatest writers and directors, Derek Savage. Now, Derek is someone I can personally connect with. Besides us being the most intelligent human beings on this planet, we've also both gotten shoutouts from PewDiePie and have radical dance moves. I would crank down and do the Charleston for you all, but it's obvious you don't know what that dance move is, so let us just move on.
Hi, Cool Cat. It's a beautiful day.
Hi, Maria. I love it when it's pretty outside.
I'm in a work area with a blanket and some more science supplies.
Ooh, we can make it our temporary office.
Yeah, we'll call it Cool Cat for President Office.
And we're open for business.
As you've noticed, Cool Cat is significantly older than that child. Many may find this creepy, but I see this as breaking social norms. Derek Savage is taking very big risks for us all, and I admire this movie for being so daring.
Awesome!
We are then introduced to the antagonist of this anime, Butch the Bully. Throughout the years, we as a society have been granted some of the greatest cinematic villains in history, but none come close to Butch the Bully. Butch is a duality of Cool Cat. Much like Spike and Vicious, Cool Cat and Butch resemble how one path may change a person completely. If Cool Cat were to go down the same path as Butch the Bully, then he too would become Cool Cat the Bully.
Hey, Cool Cat, I just got a text, but I don't know who it is.
Well, there's only one way to find out. So, see what it says. It could be good news. I love to get good news!
Even in a world filled with poverty, Cool Cat can still be optimistic. This is the role model we should be pushing on young Americans. So Butch the Bully sends a mean text over to the little girl, and this almost unleashes the beast inside Cool Cat.
Oh, that person's just a big, big bully! Oh, ah.
Ha ha ha! It worked! Maria looks sad. I love being a bully, so I'm gonna text her again.
Can't you see how merciless this villain is? Even though the little girl is still crying, he continues to torment her.
Oh! What's the matter with him? He's always bullying somebody, and he has no friends.
No one understands Butch the Bully more than Cool Cat. He understands that Butch is suffering on the inside, and that's why he tries to make others suffer. Really, his crazy antics and shenanigans are just a cry for help. So Butch summons his two henchmen, and they commit the vile act of graffiti.
I already said what it stands for! I'm with him. I bet it stands for Butch, too. Shut up, bonehead!
I'm gonna stop him! Stop! In the name of anti-graffiti! Cool Cat to the rescue!
Cool Cat's so brave. Yeah, he's a real crime fighter.
Now do you see the real differences between Butch and Cool Cat? Butch has two friends who constantly disobey him and argue with him, while Cool Cat has two girlfriends, people who constantly support him. It's no wonder Butch went down the dark path.
With friends like that, you better not have any enemies. So why do you want to paint the wall?
Now, it may look like this guy just wandered onto the set without anyone noticing, but to me, this is Nelson Mandela across the street. He came outside to help, but he saw Cool Cat diffusing the situation. He knew he had it under control, so he went back inside.
Because nobody loves us. We tag in other people's things so that they know we were there.
Nobody cares for us. That's why we do it.
You might think this is very silly and flat out stupid, but to me, this moment resembles the creation of Adam. All Adam wanted was God's full, undivided attention, and maybe that's why he bit into the apple along with Eve. Adam felt the need to commit deviant behavior in order to get the attention of God, just like these two, who represent Adam and Eve, spray painted a wall in order to get the attention of others, because they believe no one out there cares for them. But let me tell you, Cool Cat cares for them. Now that's pretty cool in my book.
Let's have some integrity and clean up the sandboxes that we tagged. I'm down with that, man.
That's groovy! That's groovy!
Now, you may think that Cool Cat just uttered a very dated line, but ask yourselves, when was that word popular? The 70s. Back in the time when the people fought the government. That line is in this movie to remind us that we as a people have the power.
And remember, you have the kid's power. You can be anything you want to be. You just gotta work hard and make it happen. And that's a saying you can take to the streets. Yeah!
Yeah, let's be something cool.
Have a seat.
Some of you may be saying, hey, public masturbation is kinda gross. Usually, you'd be right, but not here. Much like how people admire the beauty of Venus, Cool Cat admires the beauty around him and shows his affection by jerking off.
What? You have a fat nose? And you smell like a dirty dog?
To many people, this is a very childish insult, but you have to think about it. This email resembles how the Nazis treated the Jewish people. Nazis would typically refer to Jewish people as dogs, animals, anything below them, and then insult their big noses. Here we can see Cool Cat go through the same pain as the Jewish people during the Holocaust. Truly a real tragedy. Another email is sent to Cool Cat, and he sees that the bully wants to beat him up tomorrow. This, of course, puts our hero in a very despairing mood. As you can see, our main character has his eyes wide open while he's sleeping. You might think this is a poor prop, or pure laziness, but it's not. This scene clearly displays that our hero has nocturnal legothalmos. Even in this critical condition, Cool Cat still fights for America's freedom every day. We get to see the inner conflict in Cool Cat, and how much fear Butch the Bully produces. Cool Cat even contemplates suicide, but he's stronger than that. After that scene, Cool Cat wakes up and gives his thanks to Venus. And Cool Cat and Daddy Derek head off to Hollywood. And then they head back to their house. So Cool Cat tells his mom that he will be in the next Hollywood parade. Later, Cool Cat and Daddy Derek decide to make a song for Cool Cat. This may seem like narcissistic behavior, but of course, it isn't. As we know, Hollywood has produced the most egocentric people on this planet. Cool Cat is simply living in their shoes. He wants to understand why they behave this way, so that's why he himself acts like an egomaniac.
Cool Cat loves the boogie woogie.
Cool Cat likes to rock and roll. Cool Cat likes to love and sing.
Wow, not since Tchaikovsky's Waltz of the Flowers have I heard the most beautiful music in my life. I am so glad to live in an era where I can witness the most beautiful the most beautiful thing ever created. Derek Savage truly is a man, nay, a god, who bestows many talents.
Yo, yo, yo! My name is Cool Cat and I'm the coolest cat there is. I love to play and have fun and I'm always on the run. The sun is shining and I'm feeling fine. So everybody listen to the words I'm saying.
Wow. Tech nothing? Bust a bitch? I advise you to, rappers, to go ahead and just leave the premise before, my boy Cool Cat just makes a fool out of ya.
Wow, that was fun. I hope the kids love it. Yay!
So Cool Cat and Daddy Derek make it to the parade. This scene may seem pointless, since there are no character arcs to expand upon, no morals to explore. Well, nothing personal, kid, but you'd be wrong again. Cool Cat is an icon. He is required to make these public appearances in order to calm the world down. With so many tragedies spreading across the world, we need Cool Cat to come out into the public and show us that he still exists. We need that sort of comfort in order to continue with our lives. Thank you, Cool Cat.
Hey, I bet you will, you fine-looking kitty cat, you.
Hush up and drop him off at Vivica's.
Okay, honey. Hey, I'll be back in a couple minutes to pick you up.
As we see here, Derek Savage has his own intake on Beauty and the Beast. Mama Cat is clearly fugly, but to Derek Savage, he sees something in her, something beautiful. It may seem like bestiality, but it's not. I'd explain to you why it's not bestiality, but if you don't know that by now, you might as well not be watching the movie. So Cool Cat and the little girl start playing in the sandbox, but Butch the Bully ain't having it.
Oh, look at here! It is a Cool Cat and Little Marie making a sandcastle. Whoop-de-doo. I don't like sandcastles, so take this!
I still get shivers watching that scene. It's like watching the Hindenburg disaster, the Titanic, and 9/11 just rolled into one. I want to look away, but I can't. After that horrific moment, through brilliant use of exposition, the little girl reveals her backstory. No doubt the falling of the sandcastle triggered sadness and fear inside her and made her want to tell the people about her past.
I have a story. One time, a bully was picking on me, and they said some terrible things, and none of it was true. Then they posted it on the internet. It made me cry. I was so sad because I didn't know how to stop the bully. So I told my parents, and that made me feel better.
So Butch comes back for more, but Cool Cat is ready.
We're not scared of you anymore, so you better quit bullying us.
I'm gonna tell my mommy you yelled at me!
Look at his face. Look at these facial expressions. Butch thought he could handle this situation, but when he got yelled at, he immediately felt regret. I haven't seen regret this strong since Oppenheimer quoted the Bhagavad Gita by stating,
"Now I am become death, the destroyer of worlds."
Just like how Oppenheimer believed that he contributed to our destruction of the future world, Butch realized that the destruction of the sandcastle wasn't worth the future consequences he must face in the future. So Cool Cat discovers that there is a contest for the best piece of literature. If Cool Cat writes the best book, he can win $100. He might as well just put this movie on paper, because nothing can top this cinematic masterpiece. Unfortunately, it seems Mother Cat is having some sort of anxiety attack, but she doesn't say anything, because she knows that Cool Cat writing a great book is more important than her internal struggles. That's what makes her a great mother. Cool Cat decides to train his body, no doubt preparing himself to fight Butch the Bully. This training montage will have you crying with tears of joy. Not since Raging Bull or the Rocky movies have I felt this inspired. Much like those two famous boxers, Cool Cat is an underdog. Or should I say, an undercat. This film is just filled with subtle humor just like this. What a beautiful piece of art.
Lord knows I'm fit the rich. All inside you like 50 bricks. Niggas throwing hits and fits. I get my bitch a statue for a Christmas gift. And my bitch so bad she on my Christmas list. Remember I pray really, I wish for this. To get the grip with the maid and with the picket fist.
Cool Cat goes to bed, and as we can see here, the lights turn on while it's nighttime, as opposed to the lights turning off. Well, many morons out there might say, this is a clear editing error. Well, obviously, Cool Cat is trying to display that we waste so much electricity. Therefore, we should shut off our lights when we're going to bed because we don't need them. Thank you, Cool Cat, for trying to keep the planet safe.
Boy, that Cool Cat's something else.
That's an understatement.
Come on, honey, I'll help you clean up here. Yeah, that's a good one, yeah.
Here's one.
Let me help you right there.
Oh.
We call this teamwork, huh?
Oh, I love teamwork. It's so much
Ooh,
fun.
this is a heavy one. Ooh.
Now, many might say, this is yet another pointless scene. But Derek Savage wants to highlight on the dangers of the alpha male. See, an alpha male would say, hey, why is this dishwasher talking to me? She should be cleaning the dishes. But Derek wants to set the record straight. Both men and women should be cleaning the dishes. Marriage is about teamwork. I get it now, Derek. I can see divorce rates declining as we speak.
What's it made of?
I don't know. I guess some type of rubber. And check this out, it even bounces off your foot.
I wonder if Mikey sees that car! Watch out, Mikey! There's a car!
Whoa, that was close. Thanks for warning me about that car.
It's okay, but always look both ways before crossing the street.
Now, many might see this as a very hypocritical message, seeing how Cool Cat runs to the street without looking both ways many times. But we have to remember, Cool Cat is above us all, much like how Jesus Christ was above the average man. Now, is that to say that Cool Cat is the next coming of Jesus?
This is a special news report. Kids beware. There have been several robberies. Bad guys are stealing candy from babies.
That's horrible! I love babies. It is not cool to steal candy from a baby. That person's just a big bully for picking on babies.
But who could be behind such a malice act?
Help! The bully just stole my candy and he's right there!
I got candy, you don't!
Oh no! It's Butch the Bully! He's a dirty litter bug! He has to be stopped!
Cool Cat chases after Butch, but he lays down candy and the Holy Bible. The candy represents the sweetness of religion, but Cool Cat knows us atheists are much more intellectually superior, so he easily resists the urge to join such a cult. So the police arrest Butch, but because Butch is incredibly intelligent and strong, he easily breaks out of prison. While that's going on, Cool Cat and the gang find a gun in the backyard. Butch discovers the gun as well and takes it to school. No, not to shoot it up, but to take everyone's lunch money. This movie takes different routes, you're not going to know where it goes, because the cliched route would be to shoot up the school. But thankfully, this movie is a cinematic masterpiece. And you have to think, a kid would be starving if he would be desperate enough to take a gun to school and threaten students in order to get money for lunch. Now we see that Butch is more than just a villain. He's a sympathetic antagonist. I like to think many Ethiopian children can relate to Butch the Bully. Anyone else get chills while watching the scene? It's incredibly badass.
Oh no, it's the police! We're in trouble! Oh, my mama's gonna whoop me!
Butch is taken away and Cool Cat saves the kids. See, that's part of the title. This movie's very intelligent. And Cool Cat becomes the president of his school and the winner of the best book contest. And they all live happily ever after. Except for Butch. Butch kind of got butt raped in jail. Guys, I believe what we can take from this is that there will never be another movie like Cool Cat. A person like Derek Savage comes every once in a while. And we should be blessed to live in the same time as Cool Cat.